Hi, I'm Piexus, and today I wanted to do this little showcase of my cars and outfits in GT Online. Just to have fun, just a little silly video. This is my character, and as you can see, I'm in my mansion. I got the Tonga, I think it's pronounced, estate, because I really like this remote location. We have many things in the city, so I thought I'd take this one. The house, I'm not really going to showcase it because they're basically all the same. You can kind of choose some elements, like the color of this wall, of these walls, some of the paintings, but I don't think anybody cares about what I chose specifically. I'll show you this dog though, which I didn't realize what he was doing. Yeah. Uh, so let's go to my bedroom. Hi, Shark. So we start with the Piexus outfit, which I call the standard Piexus. There's always an outfit that I use more than anything else. I try to have something that's a bit neutral, that doesn't have a specific theme, and in this case, this is what it is. Now, in the past, I had more kind of elegant and fancy outfits as my default one, but for this time, I wanted something more chill, something that looked more comfortable. Also, I go through trends, and the trend I have right now is I really like cream or beige colors and white. Moving on, we have Vice City, baby. So this is a reference to this GTA 6 trailer. I just tried to do a kind of Miami vibe look. Then we have Piexus Casual. Again, this is just a kind of casual outfit. Here we go into more specific ones. These have a very specific theme. So this, I was trying to do a gang outfit, but of course I took my spin on it and I tried to do it like white and gray with these very pink stuff. Again, not a realistic gangster, but more my take on a gangster, if that makes sense. Then this is Biker, and this, the idea was using it for the MC or gang-related stuff. Then we have Tactical. This is more for heist. I chose these gloves to make it a bit more unique. Then we have Biker Hobby. So this is more to use bikes casually. It's not about the motorcycle club business. It's more like I'm just driving around with a bike. I think I could have done something more interesting with this one, but I really couldn't find jackets and colors I loved. So then we have casual. I mean, this is more close to how I would dress in real life, with some sweatpants, white shoes, and, some t-shirt. This is a reference to Mirror's Edge. I was just messing around with my friends, kind of climbing on top of things. I was like, you know what? I'll make a parkour outfit. I actually never used this. Then we have a sport outfit. This is for cycling. I do enjoy cycling around the map, especially with my friends, going up Mount Chiliad. And so I went for this, very pink outfit. So this is one of the ones I'm actually the proudest of. And I call this Flamingo VIP because there used to be a flamingo outfit, which was similar. This I made after I bought the mansion. I wanted to do something that really screamed like rich. So, I decided finally to go for something a little bit more louder. And so I'm really proud of how it came out. Elegant is just a simple outfit I made, when I wanted some more elegant stuff. And then finally, this is the last one I made, Bodyguard. I really tried to make a shirt. I wanted to do the shirt and kind of Kevlar on top of it, but I didn't find a shirt that worked with this armor. Okay, now let's start the showcase of my cars. I'm going to start from the mansion. I might not show you literally everything, but just the most important stuff. The sun is going down. I mean, it's nice, but it's not nice to look at the cars. We start with the Ocelot Penetrator. So this is one of my favorite cars in the game. In fact, I would say it's my favorite car in the game. It's based on a Jaguar. I can't remember which model. I'm not really a car guy, but I'm learning a little bit about cars through GTA Online. Here we have a Grotti. I forget which one. I think it's the GTO. I don't particularly like actually Ferrari or red cars in general, but this car it's so fun to drive, and I couldn't see this car in anything but red. Like it was the right color for this car. So moving on to the cars inside the house, there's a podium here where you can showcase one car. So I decided to go for something a bit more classic. We have the Verlier here. This is a car I used a lot back in the day when I was playing the game in 2015 or something. This is also a car that my friend sold me, so I think it was cool to put it here. But yeah, I really like this interesting shape of this car. It's actually not a really classic car, but it kind of looks like it. I think it's a pretty contemporary car. But anyways, let's go in the garage. So here's basically the bulk of the cars I use the most. Infernus Classic. Now, this is my second favorite car in the game. I love this car. I love how it sounds. I love how it drives. And again, even this one, I made it in white. It looks extremely white under these lights, but when it's under the sun and around, it looks fine. Here on the left, we have the Comet S2. This is based on a Porsche. And I really like, as I said, this cream color. And as you can see, I use it on many cars because I really like this vibe. Here we have the Revolter, which I would say is my third favorite car in the game and kind of last one. The other ones I can't really rate them. It's my favorite sedan. I really love the back of this car. Here we have another sedan. We have the Schafter V12. I mean, I've been loving this car since GTA 4, and I love to use it even in this game. Moving on to more sportsy car, we have a Lamborghini here. I think it's based on the Diablo. I'm not really a car guy, as I said, but the car is the Pegassi Torero. Then we have the Lamparati Viseris. And I really like how it turned out. It's a very aggressive car. And in general, these are some of my favorite aesthetics for a car. As I said, like very simple shapes, nothing too fancy, but also unique enough that, it's original. Like it doesn't look like other cars. Like you can tell that this is a Viseris. Moving on to the supercars, we have two of my favorite cars to drive. When it comes to handling, the T20, it's so fun and so smooth to drive. I went for this purple. And the Torero XO, which this is one of the last cars I bought actually, and I think the most expensive car in my collection. But yeah, I really like the white and cream inside. I think it looks very good. Moving on to my second floor, here, if the first floor was more muted, more like cream, white, here I went all out with color. Here we have, I even forget the name, 190Z. Very nice car. I decided to go with this blue. I could have made like a more classic color, but I don't know. I wanted to give it some aggressive vibe. Here we have a Spectre, which is based on a Aston Martin. So I decided to go for a green color. And this, by the way, some of these colors I use the crew thing to make custom colors. I'll put the tutorial that I use in the description if you want to make custom colors. It's very cool. You can make very specific colors. Here we have the Cheetah, just a simple pink. Here we have the Turismo R, I always forget the name. Just a simple gray. This is actually a car I drove a lot when I started playing because this car was free in the store. So it was my main car for a while. And here we kind of have a throwback to 2013. I just straight up made a gold car. I don't know, I wanted to use the chameleon colors because I never used them. And the gold one really spoke to me. I tried to break it with this black. I don't know, what do you think? Does it look silly? Um, I think even if it looks silly, it's fun to experiment with things that you never tried. Here we have FNJ. Oh, by the way, that was Tempesta, which is also Lamborghini. Here we have FMJ, which is based on a Ford car, a Ford GT, I think. And here we have a few OG cars. I'm starting to really love revisiting the OG cars. You know, the cars that were there from the start of the game, or at least, you know, very early on. The Coquette here, I'm in love with this car. I don't know what it is about this car, but I like the look, I like how it sounds, and I really like this color on this car as well. The Grotti Carbonizere, it's a type of Ferrari. And here we have the Entity XF. I literally took this mostly because of nostalgia. I never liked this car. I just don't like the back, how it looks. I think it looks a bit weird. But it was such an iconic car that I just decided to buy it. Now, all the other garages, I tried to have a theme for them. Lester, please. Have a theme for them so that I could, you know, easily find the cars I want. But also just because it's cool to enter a garage and have a certain identity. So this is my auto shop, and here we have basically tuners and a sportsy car. Here we have an Elegy. I really like how this turned out with the white wheels. Then we have the good old Banshee. Here we have Previon. This is a bit of a different vibe. I just kind of made a convertible car. Again, this one I was trying something different. At the agency, I have more basically sedans and kind of executive looking vehicles. I actually want to change some of the colors at the agency. But anyways, here's my Jugular. Very fun to drive and very fast. Here's the Enus Windsor with this kind of beige color. The Washington, one of my favorite sedans in the game. I really like how this looks. Here we have the Cheval Surge, which is kind of like a Tesla. It's an electric car. Elementor Valor. You know, I went for a more brown color. And finally, the Ocelot Jackal. And this is a street car. You can get this from the street. And here we are at my nightclub. I chose this location mostly because I find it cool. It's like the worst location in the game for the nightclub, but I just like the remote place. So let's start with the car that I have in the back of the nightclub. I have this Gauntlet. And this is actually not this specific one, but the Gauntlet is basically the first car I had in GT Online. And I don't think it was this exact pink, but it was basically this combination, like a white with a pink stripe. But yeah, I put it here just as a kind of tribute to my first car. So actually in the nightclub, I don't have many things. There's not really a theme. I just basically put everything else here. Here we have a Pariah. This is also a custom color. The Vigero, this is one of the first cars I actually got in this account. Here we have a Rapid GT Classic in this nice purple and white stripes. I still think this looks good. And here a simple Imponte Dukes. And as a bonus, I decided to throw in the Hangar. I have the Hangar at the airport just because I thought it was cooler to start from here. I get that the Zancudo one is more useful, but I don't know, it's just like a fantasy having the Hangar at the airport. It looked weird to me at Zancudo, so I always liked it here. With the planes, I kind of went all out. So this very bright pink, Here we have the Sea Breeze. This plane actually can land in water, which is pretty cool, and has two passenger seats. I'm sorry, two seats. This is so fun. Like, this is one of probably the most fun vehicles to pilot in this case in the game, because basically you can turn off the engine and just kind of glide. It's very cool. This one, in my opinion, looks very good with the purple and white. You know, as you can see, all of these planes have some white in it, because I think it just looks good on aircrafts. I think this is the Sea Sparrow, and this also can land on water. Yes, Sea Sparrow. We have I think this is the Dodo, and this also can land on water and has this nice light blue. I think the light blue and white, it's such a great combinations for planes. And finally the Marus with this orange and black thing. But yeah, guys, that was the video. I did this mostly for fun because I feel like I have this pressure to always post something interesting. And I want to kind of break that. I mean, of course, I don't want to waste your time. You know, if I post a video, I want to make something that it's worth watching. But at the same time, I think it puts a certain pressure on me. So sometimes maybe I just need to post something to kind of break that spell. So hopefully this was enjoyable, and I'll leave you with the Blazer Aqua, which is a underrated vehicle and a vehicle that I always loved. And the reason is not just that it's a silly quad with a minigun, but you can actually go underwater with this one, which is very cool. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.